Hey guys, today I'll show you how to make this creamy flan, also known as creme caramel. The first step is to separate 2 eggs. You'll be needing the egg yolks for this recipe, but you're also going to add 2 whole eggs. And if you're wondering why there are so many egg whites in this bowl, I was test running a recipe that did not work out. Next, I just added in a 1/4 cup of sugar, and then I'm going to add a splash of vanilla. Then you have to make sure you give everything a nice mix because those egg whites and egg yolks will be really tough to mix in with the sugar. Next, add 2 cups of milk. I use almond milk, but if you want your flan or creme caramel to be a lot stiffer, use whole milk or 2% milk. Set that bowl to the side. Meanwhile, in a pot, add around 2 tablespoons of water, half a cup of sugar, and don't stir it. You're going to put it over medium-high heat and let that boil. I like to use a wet brush to brush around the outside so my mom doesn't have to wash a dirty dish that's really hard to scrub off. I really don't know how long, but once it starts to look like caramel or it becomes an amber color, pour it into your ramekins. If you don't have a ramekin, you can pour it into a cake pan. That'll make a giant flan, but I really like it the ramekin size. After you pour your caramel, give the ramekin a good swirl so it's even. After you're done pouring your caramel, strain the flan mixture into a measuring cup so that way it's easier to fill the ramekins. As you can see, the caramel sticks really hard to the bottom of the ramekin, but when you bake the flan, it turns really soft and just absorbs. Be sure you strain it because there's a lot of residue. After you're done filling the flan, place the ramekins in a pan filled with water. The water should be high enough to cover half the ramekin. Be careful when placing this in the oven because every time I do, it feels like there's an earthquake or something. Bake the flan at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for around 45 minutes to an hour. I bake mine for an hour. You can tell when it's done when you give a slight jiggle and it jiggles just a little bit. After you're done baking your flans, place it at room temperature for around an hour and then place it in the fridge for 3 or 4 hours until it's chilled. To release the flan, slide a knife around the ramekin and place a plate over it and then flip it at once. This is probably my favorite part of the whole process and I got super excited when it turned out. If you like your flan stiffer, as I said before, use a higher % fat milk. When you use almond milk, it's almost basically like water.